Let's check back in on day 2 of ADFW from Abu Dhabi. Our contributor and special events anchor Patricia Wu is on the ground at the conference. Hi, Patricia.
I'm here with Kaan Terzioglu, the CEO of VEON. So, one of the big themes here that I know you're passionate about is borderless finance. And so, in a single sentence, what would you say is VEON's superpower in building this borderless financial future?
Look, we operate in countries where 500 million people are hungry for services. So, ability to create superpowers out of our customers is what we focus on. And sometimes it is allowing them to access to financial services, sometimes healthcare services, education. And that ability to provide them at a fraction of a cost, these services, I think what makes us super powerful. And our superpower is to make superheroes from our customers.
Yeah, that connectivity is super important, but having this enabling environment, I'm sure, is also very important. And you're headquartered in Dubai. What lessons, or the biggest lesson, can other regions learn from what the UAE is doing?
Look, first of all, I think when I see Abu Dhabi and Dubai, Emirates overall, I think this is the future of responsible capitalism. And every single platform that you have here is really tailored for businesses to be more effective, more productive in terms of talent, in terms of capital access, and in terms of logistics. If somebody gives you so much power, it's impossible to fail. And that's why we decided to move our headquarters here. And I think, that was one of the best decisions we have made.
And as you look toward the future and you scale and grow, what do you think is the biggest potential roadblock? And, how is AI going to help you tackle that?
Look, I think in today's world, leaders are always expose themselves to two conflicting objectives at the same time. And sometimes, the two targets you may set for yourself can conflict with each other. But the secret is finding a way to achieve both. For example, in the markets we are at, on one side, the number one problem is eradication of poverty. The number one challenge I have is creating shareholder value. How do you link these two completely opposing objectives?
Yeah,
and actually, today's technologies and the platforms that we provide is exactly the recipe for that. Poverty cannot be eradicated unless you give people access to financial services. This is the way to create prosperity. When that person that, maybe a mother needs that $30 to buy some eggs, flour, sugar, and make cookies and sell, that's the livelihood of that family. Or when a farmer needs a water pump, and uses for himself, maybe rents for the next couple of days to the neighbors, that's the livelihood of that neighborhood. So it's really important to provide these type of financial services to people. But on the other side, how do you provide the healthcare services that are available today to the rich at a fraction of a cost, at a massive scale to millions of people in Pakistan or Bangladesh and Uzbekistan? AI comes in place there. Actually, utilizing AI and remote connectivity, which are the two things that we are specialized on, we can reach out millions of people in remote locations. And when that kid is sick at night and there's no doctors around, we can be there through our connectivity and through our remote healthcare services and basically deliver that value at a fraction of a cost. We need to stop thinking about this AGI. I have no understanding of what it is, and hopefully one day it will happen. It's okay. But application of augmented intelligence, not artificial, because I think there is nothing artificial about AI. This is about augmenting capacities, skills, experiences of people, making a doctor a better doctor, making a teacher a better teacher, making a farmer more productive farmer. We can do that. And that's why we focus on developing local language, large language models. But not to create the super intelligence that will solve all the problems in the world, to actually solve the problem of a student to have a private tutor when he cannot afford one, or to allow a doctor, to reach the libraries around the world so that he can be a better doctor. And that's really what drives us, because we know very well that customers return these type of services with their loyalty. You know, out of 500 people in our countries today, 1 out of 3 is our customer. And that makes us extremely proud because every morning we wake up and we find another person using our financial services or healthcare services or education services. And that goes back to your first question. This is about creating superheroes from regular people.
Yeah, so you're changing lives and fueling the economy in those countries at the same
Yes,
time.
and also at the same time, creating value for our shareholders. You know, our stock in the last 4 years has been 7.5, 15, 30, and as of yesterday was 50. I believe we are one of the less understood companies because, you know, we operate in countries often outside of the radar of many investors. But the real growth and the opportunity is in frontier markets. And the best place to serve these countries is here in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, in Emirates. I call this place the New Europe. Actually, I call it my Europe. That stands for ME for me, not Middle East. And I call the old Europe as Middle West.
So it certainly sounds like you're very bullish about the future. Give me your boldest prediction for the next 3 to 5 years in this landscape.
Look, I think we are coming to a point where we are integrating our terrestrial networks with the satellite networks. And when satellite networks and terrestrial networks work in one, that means we have 100% coverage, both from a land size perspective and population perspective. That, with a smart device in the hands of people, will make everybody a superhero. And the ones who will not adapt, they will not be successful. But the ones who will adapt will make a huge change. And it's not going to be us making the change, it's going to be the people in these countries. And we are in the business of making life better for them.
So if there was just one thing you would tell a company they should do today to prepare for this tomorrow, what would it be?
Look, first of all, I think everything is available for us to be successful. And the ability to use the tools we have is number one. You know, stay hungry, stay foolish, as Steve Jobs said. Yes.
All right. Great words to end on. Thank you so much, Kaan.
Thank you very much, Patricia.